If storytelling is anything, then it's the most important thing. Storytelling has urgency. Storytelling engages us with the most important, urgent issues of the day. And literature that does that is providing not only great service, but pleasure, joy, insight. I mean, what's often said about reading is that it promotes empathy, because you see the world through somebody else's eyes.
It's important because it gives you something to base what's going to happen on. I mean, it's like, why is Shakespeare important? And Shakespeare has lasted for so long because there's so many truths in the stories that are told by Shakespeare.
I think you would just be like a very flat person, I guess that's right, because reading and writing, that just helps you grow as a person. And if you read a book, you learn about different perspectives, and you just grow as a person. So I think it's very important for everyone to be involved in literature.
I think, to go off of Grace's point about perspectives, it's so important to read because literature is almost a way to get inside another person's head and to relate to them even if they're different from you. You could read stories about people of different races, of different religions that you know nothing about, but you can see the ways that you're similar and you can appreciate those differences. And I found so much comfort in literature, knowing that people think the same way I do, have the same problems that I do. So it's comforting, but it also expands you as a person.
I lived abroad for 13 years in areas where there's not a lot of television, so you read a lot of books, places like Italy and China. So I've always had a love of literature. But when Joe started sharing his ideas about the Simpson Literary Project, I was all in.
The Simpson Literary Project promotes stories and storytelling, writers and writing across the generations, because we need stories for our survival. So we are all about the care and feeding of writers of all ages. So we make one very simple request of you. Tell your story. We're here for you.
Yeah, so what we're trying to do at the Simpson Literary Project is really lift up writers and writing. And we're trying to make it a sustainable proposition for folks who want to do writing and to support the whole community of writers. And so we do that by 3 various initiatives. So the key initiatives are, first, we offer writing workshops, mainly to high school students, and we have some of them here with us today.
When I first started this project, I was really afraid to give people my writing. But even if I've got a draft that I think is not good at all, I'm so happy to give it to my advisor and be like, look, help me make this better. It's taken away that discomfort with not being perfect.
Yeah, it's definitely grown my confidence as a writer.
In 2019, the Simpson Literary Project conducted 5 workshops serving 100 writers at no charge, high school age through adulthood. And we also have legendary English teacher David Wood's students from Northgate. You'll find their poems published in Simpsonistas alongside Joyce Carol Oates and Layla Lalamy and many, many other worthies.
And before I begin, I'd like to say a special thank you to Mr. Wood. This one is called How to Fall Out of Love. I think the hill knew she wasn't the one.
The thing about writing is at its core, it's a very solitary activity. You've got your thoughts, you've got your ideas, you're putting them down on a page, and you don't really know how people are going to react to your words until somebody buys your book or somebody's in an audience applauding because they heard your reading and were moved by it or whatever. So it gives young writers a moment to hear somebody react to their creative work.
Okay. So now we're going to hear from our Moroccan musicians. We are honored to have Boushaib Abdul Hadi and Yasser Chadli with us this evening to perform. So, I guess I'll do my introduction. Both of these musicians have very distinguished and well-documented musical careers, among other talents. We have the musicians from Morocco that are going to be delighting us with the music, and then we have Peter Chastain and his team with the Moroccan food. So I have to say I'm looking forward to all of it.
Well, I loved cooking it, and I'm very satisfied. I'm very happy with the comments that I got. I spoke to the author that's talking tonight. She's from Morocco, and she was happy with the variety, and that's what we strive for. So I'd say I'm pretty happy.
As an example of tonight's event, it's a national kind of tour that encompasses everyone coming together from different places in our society, and that is very special.
Nights like this is very exciting for me and for my wife Carrie. We're obviously very passionate about the Simpson Literary Project, and it's an opportunity for us to invite friends and kind of socialize that and to get them excited about it and to share our passion with them. It's an opportunity to collaborate with my fellow board members. It's an opportunity to be here with one of our partners in a very special place, the Lafayette Library. But really, you know, it's connecting with people, but also tonight it's going to be about storytelling, the foundation of our work. And I'm very excited about that as well.
It is really innovative because it's for mid-career writers. And that's what's so unusual, because they have a lot of these kinds of prizes for emerging writers. But for those who have already had quite a bit of success, they still need these kinds of things. And I love that aspect of it.
We're also facilitating the work of distinguished and professional authors who get a prize, which we've funded, $50,000 for the national prize for a fiction writer. Like Layla Lalami is our current winner.
I mean, that's what's so great about this prize, is that it shows really excellent writing, and it helps those authors get seen and helps more people learn about the great work that they're doing.
The Simpson Literary Project, the Lafayette Library and Learning Center, and the Berkeley English Department is honored that you are the recipient of the 2019 Simpson Joyce Carol Oates Prize. Ladies and gentlemen, Layla Lalami.
The Other Americans is about a Moroccan immigrant family, actually, who moves from Casablanca, yes, Iran Japanese hometown, to Los Angeles and later to the Mojave Desert, where they open a restaurant. And then the family grows and they have another daughter. The story opens when the father is involved in a hit and run. And it's a mystery. We don't know exactly who is behind the wheel.
I always love interviews with authors. I love to find out what they, where they got the idea for their book, or how they became a writer, or what's most important to them in their creative process. I love all that kind of stuff. I interview writers all the time, and other kinds of artists too, and I always like to hear about that creative process.
So I've been looking a lot at like the actual act of crossing borders. I've done a lot of research, I've done a lot of writing, so I have been working. That's what the prize means, is the ability to support the work and to make it possible for me to continue writing.
But the interesting thing is, I think, is that people think books just sort of happen. And we know that books require support. And that goes for the high school kids up here, to first novelists, to the students at Cal, whom we'll be working with. And I think it's important that we remember that writers need support.
Well, I feel like I'm having the opportunity to really support writers and make it so that they can make a living writing. And then also encouraging younger people who might not feel like they know if they're a good writer, or if they have a talent, or if they've had a chance to write. It's encouraging them to find their voice through writing. So that's what inspires me.
And it's all about, for us, storytelling. Storytelling is the foundation of a literate society. And a literate society is the foundation of everything. You can't have anything without literacy. We don't know anything about ourselves without storytelling, because we wouldn't know who we are if we couldn't tell a story. So it's about everything.